Hey, what is up, mortals? It is GrogFunky here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 5 of What If Deku Was a Dragon Slayer. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. So, we begin. As Midoriya approached the UA campus from the train station, a strange sight caught his eye. A large group of adults were swarming the UA entrance. It was not until he got a closer look that he saw that the large group were reporters. Midoriya had never seen a group this big before. As Midoriya got closer to the gate, a group of 5 reporters rushed him and placed microphones in his face. "Young man, what is it like having All Might for a teacher?" "Yeah, how is the number 1 handling his new responsibilities as a teacher?" Midoriya answered no questions and bolted for the gate. Some of his classmates did answer questions. Kaminari especially aimed it up for the cameras. Urza Scarlet came upon this scene and got fire in her eyes. "What is going on here?" "Miss, can we get a few words with All Might?" "So, this is what is going on. All Might is not on campus today. Now go away. You have disturbed my students enough." Urza then led the students at the front gate inside. One reporter got very pissed off at being told to leave. "Hey, we are members of the press. We have a right to be here." The woman tried to step over the UA threshold and nearly missed getting cut in half by the UA barrier. Class 1A gathered in their homeroom. Urza stood in front of the classroom at the lectern. "Good morning, class. Today you will be attending to a matter of extreme importance." The whole class was worried about this task. Every student held their breath out of fear. Everyone wondered if Urza would threaten to expel the whole class if they failed. The crimson-haired hero stood with a fiery gaze locked onto the students. Finally, the steely-eyed educator spoke in a calm tone. "Today, you will be choosing a class representative." Every student gave a relieved exhale at this news. While picking a class representative would just be a normal classroom activity at any other school, this is UA. Being chosen as the class representative would show hero agencies that you have leadership skills, and it could be easier to get into internships and jobs at powerful agencies. Every student was gunning for the position. A massive argument broke out between all of the students. Bakugo and Midoriya got so fired up that the two got in each other's faces and started hurling insults at each other. This made the other members of Class 1A laugh. Urza, ever the disciplinarian, grabbed both boys by the shoulders and slammed them into opposing walls. The other students quickly settled down, not wanting to anger the crimson-haired warrior. With the sudden silence, Tenya Ida spoke up. "Everyone, I think we should vote for who we want to be the representative." Tsuyu Asui replied to Ida's idea.
"But we just met each other. How do we know who we can trust with a position like that?"
"Yeah, and wouldn't everyone just vote for themselves, Ida?" "Most people will, but anyone who receives more than 1 vote must be worthy of leading us." "He has a point. I like the idea." "Me too. Let's do it." So, everyone cast their ballots. The students that ended up with the most votes were Midoriya with 3 votes and Yaoyorozu with 2 votes. Ida stared at the results with his teeth gritted in frustration. Unfortunately, the bespectacled boy had received no votes at all. "Well, I cannot argue with the system I chose." Midoriya stood in front of the classroom completely dumbfounded. The green-haired teen had no idea how he had received 3 votes. Yaoyorozu, who stood next to Midoriya, wondered how the Dragon Slayer got 3 votes also. Bakugo sat in the front row, his eyes blazing with indignation. "This is crap! I demand a recount!" Wendy exhaled in annoyance. "Why would we do that, Bakugo? Did you really think anyone was going to vote for you?" "Watch it, pigtails! You may have gotten the highest score on the entrance exam, but I can still kill you." "Good luck with that." Urza interjected before the rest of the class could take pop shots at Bakugo. "All right, Midoriya is the class representative, and Yaoyorozu is the vice representative." Suddenly, the lunch bell rang. "Okay, students, we will finish the selection of class officers after lunch." As the students were heading toward the cafeteria, Bakugo placed his hand on Midoriya's shoulder. The green teen turned towards the spiky blonde. "What is it, Kachan?" Bakugo replied to Midoriya's question with a calm tone. "We need to talk, Deku." Wendy, who was standing close by, grew concerned. "Is everything all right, Midoriya?" Midoriya, too, was concerned by Bakugo's tone. In all the years that Midoriya had known the bomb-handed youth, he had never used a tone like that. The emerald-eyed boy turned toward Wendy and replied, "Yeah, everything is fine. Go ahead and save me a seat in the cafeteria. I will join you and the others later." The other students cleared out of the room, leaving just Bakugo and Midoriya alone. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and hackers could exploit you. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track, securing your privacy. In addition to providing you with safe passage through the web, you can also expand the reach of your favorite streaming services. Are you tired of going through 2, 3, or even 4 streaming services to watch your favorite anime? Well, with NordVPN, you can change your country and be able to binge shows like My Hero Academia, Naruto, and many others of your favorite streaming services with just a press of a button. Check out the link in the description to get 72% off when buying for 2 years of $3.29 a month. This deal is for a limited time, and thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Well, what did you want to talk about, Kachan? Just shut up and listen, Deku. This is going to be hard enough to say without your sass. Bakugo then ground his teeth in frustration. It was clear to Midoriya that whatever the red-eyed youth had to say was hard for him. After several minutes of silence, Bakugo finally said something. Izuku. You're as good as me, maybe even a little better. I wanted to apologize for all the crap I've given you over the years. Most of it was uncalled for. Wow, I never thought I'd hear words like that come out of your mouth, Kachan. But thank you. Yeah, well, don't get used to it. I realized after you beat me the other day that I have a lot to learn. Acting like I'm the best will not make me the best. That is true. There are so many strong students in this school. If we are going to surpass All Might, then we'll have to train even harder than we did before. Bakugo nodded at the Grinette's statement. The fact that I recognize you as my equal means I will only expect the best from you. After we graduate from UA and become pro heroes, you and I will fight it out for the #1 position. Midoriya smiled at his childhood friend. Sounds like a plan, Kachan. Midoriya then left the room and walked towards the cafeteria. After getting his lunch, the upbeat boy then joined Wendy, Uraraka, and Ida at a table they had saved. Wendy smiled at the sight of Midoriya joining them. Midoriya, is everything okay? Bakugo didn't give you a hard time, did he? No, he didn't, Wendy. He was actually nice. Well, nice for Bakugo anyway. Midoriya then explained the conversation that he had with the hot-headed youth. Wendy was glad to hear that nothing ominous had happened. Well, that is good to hear. Does that mean he's going to be nicer to you now? I wouldn't hold my breath. If anything, it means that he'll be even harder on me, because he sees me as an equal. But it is nice to know that he thinks so highly of me. Uraraka then replied in a cheerful tone. Bakugo's not the only one to recognize your abilities, Deku. After all, you did win the election for class representative. Yes, well done, Midoriya. I'm not surprised. Considering your high marks on the entrance exam and your performance in the combat training, it is no wonder that people would see you as a leadership material. That is why I voted for you. I'm surprised to hear that, Ida. It was obvious that you wanted the position too. Yeah, and you look like a representative. I mean, you got the glasses and everything. Uraraka, I don't think you should be deciding important matters based on someone's eyewear. Ida clears his throat. Well, wanting a leadership position and being ready for it are two different things. Being around the Tenya family agency growing up taught me that. Uraraka then got a quizzical look on her face. Ida, I've been meaning to ask about your family. Both Izuku and Wendy also got questioning looks on their faces. Admit it, you're super rich! Ida took a deep breath and answered in a deflated tone. I was hoping to avoid mentioning my family. It tends to make things more difficult socially when people find out who my family is. Midoriya, Uraraka, and Wendy all stared at Ida with huge eyes, all of them wondering what the bespectacled boy was hiding. Have any of you heard of the turbo hero Ingenium? Izuku exploded with excitement at the mention of the hero's name. I know all about him! Ingenium is a super popular hero with over 35 sidekicks working under him in his Tokyo agency. Ida then stood up with a huge smile on his face. He is my elder brother. Ingenium is an unmatched commander who honors the hero's code. I hope to one day be a hero just like him. Seeing this excited energy from Ida made Midoriya smile. The green teen could see that Ida looked up to his brother just like he looked up to All Might. Suddenly, an alarm started to sound throughout the cafeteria. All of the students started to panic and flee from the giant space. Wendy spoke in a panicked tone. What is going on? I have no idea, but I know a way to find out. Izuku grabbed the sleeve of a fleeing student and slammed him against the wall. Tell me what is going on. What does that alarm mean? That is the Stage 3 alert! Okay, is that bad? All I know is that there have not been a Stage 3 alert in all 3 years here. So, it must be something bad. Midoriya released the panicked student from his grip and he ran off. The group was heading to evacuate too, when Wendy spoke up. Guys, let's wait a minute. I got a feeling that something is not right here. She has a point. Let's take a look around outside the windows first. The 4 friends each took a different corner of the now empty cafeteria. While the room did not give a total view, the windows in the giant space did give an overview of most of the campus. Wendy noticed something odd. Guys, look at this. The other 3 students gathered around the window Wendy was looking out of. Ida replied in a shock. Are those reporters? That's what it looks like to me. We need to tell everyone. They are all acting like this place is being attacked by villains. The 4 classmates ran toward the hallway. When Midoriya threw the door open, he and the others were shocked by the sight that met their eyes. All of the other students were in a panic. The hallway was jam-packed with students. Many of their classmates were being pressed against the walls. We need to act fast. If this continues, then they're going to hurt each other. What should we do? Ida, I'll use my wind powers to lift you above the crowd. You should be able to get their attention then. Tell them that they're in no danger. That is a great plan, Wendy. But couldn't you just levitate yourself above the crowd just as easily? The young Dragon Slayer blushed at his statement. I can't do that, Ida. I'm wearing a skirt. If you haven't noticed, that would get everyone's attention in the wrong way. Also, I'm not that kind of girl. Ida and Midoriya blushed at the thought their male teenage minds conjured up. Ida then shook his head to get rid of the mental image. The blue-haired teen then replied with an affirmative tone to his diminutive classmate. Okay, Wendy, let's do it. Wendy surrounded Ida with a whirlwind. The girl with pigtails then maneuvered her classmate over the crowd. As Ida hovered in the air, Midoriya and Uraraka gave him a thumbs up. Ida then spoke in a loud voice. Everyone, there is no need to panic. There is no emergency. A bunch of reporters got onto the campus somehow. We are students of UA. We need to show everyone what that means. After hearing this speech, all of the students in the crowded hallway calmed down and exited the hallway in an orderly fashion. Back in the 1A classroom, Midoriya and Momo stand in front of the classroom. The green-haired youth then speaks to the class. Okay, we need to pick the class officers. But before we do that, I need to say something. Midoriya takes a deep breath to calm himself. Guys, I think that Wendy Marvel should be the class representative. During the emergency, she was calm and collected. She saw that something was wrong and led me, Uraraka, and Ida to find out what was going on. She then came up with a plan to get our panicking classmates under control. If that does not make her a good leader, then I don't know what does. Kirishima was the first to voice his opinion. He has a point, guys. Wendy was very manly during that emergency. I am good with her leading our class. What do you guys say? Ida spoke up next, making several robotic gestures as he spoke. Yes, if Wendy had not acted, then who knows what would have happened. I, for one, would be proud to be led by her. The blue-haired girl was touched by admiration for her leadership skills. Wendy had to use all her might to keep from crying. Even with all the effort, she was still tearing up a little bit. Thank you, guys. Urza Scarlet had been standing off to the side, watching this touching scene play out. Finally, the fiery redhead could take no more of it. I am pleased to see that you think so much of Miss Marvel's abilities. The weapon master then glared at Midoriya with a blazing look that would melt iron. But you are all wasting time. I do not care who's the representative. Just pick one already. With that shock, the class all agreed that Wendy would be the representative and Momo would be the vice representative. Although, Momo was a little embarrassed that she had to answer to a girl that got no votes. However, the girl with the dark ponytail succeeded to the wish of her class. After all of the students had gone home and the sun was setting, Principal Nezu and several UA staff members were standing outside looking at a section of the UA barrier that had been destroyed. So, this is what caused all of today's trouble? Let us be glad it was just reporters that broke in and not villains. Midnight was crouched down, looking at the destroyed section of the barrier. It looks like this section was turned into a pile of rust. Surely it would be easy to track someone with a quirk like this. According to my sources, there has not been anyone that has registered with a power like that, but I am more concerned by what the action means. How so, Principal? Well, a person with a power like that comes here only to destroy a section of the barrier? It doesn't make any sense. I have a feeling that there's more to this action, but whether it is a single action or a declaration of war is yet to be seen. We must prepare for both possibilities. The principal then stroked his mousy chin in deep thought. I fear the dark days are ahead of us. Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would just like to let you know that we the Celestials have many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description, so feel free to check out all other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below.